Based on real events, 1974, deep in the Pacific Ocean, 16,000 feet down, lay the wreckage of a Soviet nuclear submarine. Inside it, the holy grail of Cold War intelligence, nuclear codes, cipher machines, and ballistic missiles. The Soviets couldn't find it, but the Americans knew exactly where it was. There was just one problem. How do you lift a 2,000-ton steel grave from 3 miles underwater without the enemy noticing? The answer involved an eccentric billionaire, a fake mining company, and the most advanced ship ever built. This is the story of Project Azorian, the most expensive, audacious heist in history. In March 1968, the Soviet submarine K-129 vanished. While the Soviet Navy searched frantically on the surface, the U.S. Navy's USS Halibut was silently prowling the depths. They found the wreck first. It was sitting at 16,500 feet. To put that in perspective, that's deeper than the Titanic. The pressure there is immense. The Soviets assumed recovery was physically impossible, but the CIA saw an opportunity. If they could raise the wreck, they wouldn't just get the missiles. They'd get the cryptographic keys to read Soviet naval comms for years. The engineering challenge was staggering. They needed to lift 2,000 tons from 3 miles down using a pipe string a straw made of, steel without it snapping under its own weight. Enter the cover story. The CIA couldn't just build a giant Navy crane. Soviet satellites would spot it instantly. So they reached out to the one man crazy enough to make anything look plausible. Howard Hughes. The announcement went out. Hughes Global Marine was building a massive ship, the Glomar Explorer, to mine manganese nodules from the ocean floor. The press bought it. The public bought it. Even the Soviets bought it. While the world watched Hughes' latest folly, engineers inside the ship were building Clementine, a massive mechanical claw designed to cradle the Soviet sub. The ship was a marvel. It had a moon pool, a giant opening in the hull, so the claw could be lowered secretly from inside the ship. But would the claw actually hold? Summer 1974, the Glomar Explorer arrives at the target site. Tension was at a breaking point. A Soviet tugboat, the Shazma, actually sailed close to investigate. They watched the Americans conducting mining operations. They had no idea that 3 miles beneath their keel, a giant steel claw was inching toward their fallen comrades. The process was excruciatingly slow. Section by section, the heavy pipe was lowered. The ship had to hold its position perfectly against wind and current, controlled by an early, automated station-peeping system technology decades ahead of its time. Finally, contact. The claw grasped the K-129. The lift began. They hauled it up. Mile 1, Mile 2. It was working. The prize was halfway to the surface. Then, disaster struck. The structural integrity of the Soviet sub failed. Several of the claw's tines cracked under the strain. 2/3 of the submarine broke off and spiraled back into the abyss. The missiles? The code room? Gone. Only the forward 38 feet of the nose section remained in the claw. The CIA had spent hundreds of millions of dollars, risked World War III, and they had lost the main prize. Or had they? When they pulled the remaining section into the moon pool, they found something else. Inside the wreckage were the bodies of 6 Soviet sailors. In a moment of profound military respect, the CIA agents and crew held a formal burial at sea. They played the Soviet national anthem. They filmed it. Years later, that film was given to Russia. It proved that while they were enemies, they were also mariners. The intelligence haul was small, some manuals, no missiles. But the technological victory was absolute. The story leaked in 1975. When journalists asked the CIA what happened, the agency issued a statement that became legendary. We can neither confirm or deny the existence of such an operation. This was the birth of the Glomar response. Project Azorian failed to get the missiles, But it proved American engineering had no equal. We built a ship to steal a submarine from the bottom of the world, and we did it in broad daylight. Was the billion-dollar price tag worth the risk? Or was it the greatest engineering folly of the Cold War? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe for more declassified history. Next time, we look at the jet that flew so fast it melted its own paint.